Welcome to Mindful Reality, the channel that covers reality TV from a mental health perspective. Please do not talk about production. Nobody can tell me that. I bet you nobody can tell me that. You know why? Because I don't work for any network. I'm not contracted with a network. I've never benefited from a network. Uh, I have made some money on the side because of something that is on a network, but the network got one of my channels. Well, I shouldn't say the network did that, but they definitely threw me a couple of copyright strikes over the last few years. But you can't give me nothing for talking. Now let's talk. So it was in the wee hours of the morning. Well, for me, probably about seven something in the morning. And for them, maybe like four something in the morning. I went to bed. And when I went to bed, the last thing that I saw on the feeds was just a continuation of this long chat that has been going on days and days and days and days and days between Vince and Morgan. And the chat is about the same thing that it's always been. Why are you choosing Lauren over me? Prove yourself to me by putting Lauren on the block. How can you say that I'm your number one and you're still concerned about Lauren? Lauren. And Vince like, you are my number one, but you are my number one. I don't know why you think that people want you out. And I don't think that Lauren wants you out. And I think that we should all work together and be friends and just run around and skip around the house together. And she's like, no, I'm not working with Morgan. I'm not working with Lauren. I don't like Lauren. I don't want to work with Lauren. Prove yourself to me because you proved to me that you value Lauren more than me. You picked Lauren over me in the competition, in the elimination competition, and you've picked Lauren before me time and time and time again. La di da di da. So I turn off the feeds. I turn the feeds back on, and Morgan is sleeping in the HOH bed. But no worries, they're sleeping head to toe like they do on a hammock, and there's a pillow in between them, so that makes it cool. You know, what's a HOH bed amongst good old buddies? It's just a friendly sleepover, right? It's just a friendly sleepover amongst friends. Now, as I've been going and back and forth, because I don't know about anyone else, but when I go to sleep, I tend to move around a lot in my bed. And if somebody was in the bed with me, I might find my way over to the person in the bed, especially if me and the person in the bed are into each other, have had no other physical contact except with each other for the last almost 70 days. And we have this weird tension between us. So I had the feeds on and I was like, all right, let's see. Let's see if somebody rolls over or something. And then all four feeds go into the room with Ava and the bunk beds. And I'm like, big brother, you are trying to play us. Also, right before the lights went out and they were in the bed together, I assume they must have had some kind of dialogue about being in the bed because that's the reason why they were head to toe with the pillow in between them. So I assume they said something to one another and made a decision to be in that bed together. But Big Brother, I think, cut us out of that, unless I missed something. Big Brother, I think, cut us out of that. So I don't know what's gonna happen. Who knows? But what I do know is, let's say nothing happens at all. Let's say they go to sleep, they're in the HOH room all night, they sleep in there together in the bed together. They do absolutely nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean they don't get intimate in the bed, despite prior history of cuddling and stroking each other and kissing of hands and all this other stuff. Let's just say they resist all that temptation tonight and wake up the next morning and just get up and go about their business. Decisions that you make in the Big Brother house, in the Big Brother house, nothing is a secret. So as of right now, whoever is staying in the room with Morgan already knows that she didn't come back at night. So they're sitting here on this campaign for days and days and days and days about we're just good friends. I know America can see that, and I was shocked that anyone would think anything otherwise, that we're just good friends, you know? Um, Everybody's situation is different, but there's too much going on there for me to think that there's nothing there. And I still maintain on his end, I can see more of the physical intimacy side of it. And on her end, I can see more of the emotional intimacy side of it. We could be headed for an explosion, man. And I remember 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I'm looking at them and I'm like, something seems like it's starting to blossom between these two. And people are telling me, you don't know what you're talking about. Huh? They're just friends. Chelsea has given him permission. You know, she understands the game, you know? And I was like, huh, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it all plays out. Things kind of progress. Let me tell you something for those of you who are not on my channel. In 2022, I think. Let's see. 22. Okay, to 21, actually. Wow, 2021, actually, because BB 23, I think, was 2020. So that would make BB 24 2021, right? 22, 23, 24. Did they skip a year? I don't remember. But whatever year BB 24 was. Thanks for being a 23-month member. I'm so freaking sick of this whatever, man. I'm not. And you know why? Because there's nothing else going on in the house. And I like drama. And if there was other sources of drama, I probably would say, this is not something I'm interested in. But because there is no other drama, this is the only thing I'm interested in. Let it happen. I mean, let them do whatever they're going to do. I mean, it is what it is. I have no control over that. But it's just that what they're saying and what I'm seeing are two different things. What they're saying that it is and what I'm visually seeing in front of my eyes ain't the same. So I'm going to be on Showman's watch today because now all of a sudden I have a reason to turn the feeds back on. I want to see how these conversations go when everybody wakes up and everyone gets to talking and everyone gets to realizing, hey, they slept in the bed together. And then they start to get the questions, and then they probably start to get questions. They probably start to speak to each other. Um, yeah, that's what I said. BB23 was 21. Or wait, what did I say? Yeah, that's what I said. BB24 was 2022. Yep. That lines up to what I said. BB24 being 2022. Um, but anyways, yeah, I'm dying to see. I'm dying to see later what actually happens with everything going on with them. Especially because we've had to suffer through hours. I mean, not me personally, but even just what they've been showing on the produced show itself is a lot of working. Even production realizes with Rachel out of there, what's the second strongest storyline? Kelly saying that she hates everybody, Ashley saying that she's pretending to be dumb, but she's really a lawyer. We don't even have Captain Will to have his little fun segments that we used to have. Ava being bitter and saying Rachel yanked her. They're grasping at straws for a storyline. So this is literally the only thing going on. This is literally the only thing going on. I only asked if they skipped a year to because I was wondering if my math was off. Because I was like, okay, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. And doing quick math while talking about something else is not the easiest because I had two things in my mind at once, which is usually the case when I ask a timeline or math related question because I'm really good at math if I'm not on live, believe it or not. But anyways, that's neither here nor there because that's not really what was of importance. I'm glad you said that because it reminded me of the point that I was actually making when I was asking about the timeline. It's because on the night that Monty and Taylor got together, I was just looking at the feeds and it was just a regular night. And I remember so much about it. I remember the two of them were there and Turner was there, Alyssa and Brittany. And I remember they were talking for a while. Then they were outside, they were playing pool. They were playing that game. I don't know what that game is called, but that game where they have the stick and then you're trying to like throw the rope and get it to go around the sticks. I don't know what that game is called. Forgive me. Um, I remember them sitting outside and doing tie dye. And then actually, I remember from the night before, they all slept in the same bed except for Brittany, I believe. But I think Taylor and Monty, Turner, and Alyssa all slept in the same bed together. They had a sleepover. And then I was like, I feel like Monty and Taylor are gonna have their own sleepover. So I'm watching the feeds and I'm watching like little signs and little flirtatious things they're saying to each other. And I was like, I feel like tonight is about to be the night. And I'm watching. I'm like, okay, Brittany goes to bed. Then I'm waiting for Alyssa and Turner. Hours and hours go by, and then Alyssa goes to bed. And then it's Turner. So now Turner, Monty, and Taylor are sitting up. Then I remember I couldn't stay up any longer because I was so exhausted. I hadn't slept yet. I slept for about 2 hours or something like that. I logged into work. Hold on. I refreshed. I slept for about 2 hours or so. I logged into work, and then I turned the feeds back on. Or actually, I didn't turn the feeds back on then. I never turned them off. And then I remember Turner finally goes to bed. And then she was in the HOH room. Monty was getting himself ready for bed, taking off his mic, all that stuff. And then he gets in the bed. She gets in the bed. I guess it's called ladder toss. I never knew the name of it. Um, and then all of a sudden they're laying in the bed together, and then I take a quick screen capture. Screen capture. No, I take a picture. I took a picture with my phone, and then I put it up, and I was like, it's about to go down. And then probably 30 seconds to a minute at the most after I put that picture up, they were rolling around in the streets, in the sheets, in the streets of the sheets. So I guess I say all that to say I continuously say that I am a people savant. I am an expert on people, body language, intent, and it's not to say that I'm never wrong, but it's very rare and even more rare when I get the cheat code of being able to turn on a feed and watch people communicate and interact for hours. I'm just good at that stuff without having feeds. Like just in general, just in life in general, I can read people in situations very, very well. And in Big Brother, I see things coming from a mile away. And I've been seeing this. I've been seeing this build up. And we're about that time. You know, before I had watched Big Brother, though, when Monty and Taylor were on day 70, I was thinking to myself, they have really good restraint at this point. And I think that, you know, if something was going to happen, it would have happened way before 70 days. But now I know that's not how a Big Brother house goes. A Big Brother house is like, as the time goes on, the numbers dwindle down, you know, those connections, especially the forbidden ones that people are trying to avoid, they start to expand. They start to they start to grow. And it's not like they're less likely. I'll I'll tell you something funny. I remember talking to Aza one of these times that I saw her at one of these events. And it was probably like an earlier time when Big Brother 23 hadn't finished all that long ago. And I said to her, Aza, how did you go that long? And you said that you had a crush on Xavier. And how did you end up going that long without like trying to act upon that crush? And she was just like, well, she said, I don't really know. And she was talking about the Taylor and Monty thing a little bit. And she said, by day 70, I looked at a cucumber and damn near got pregnant. That was funny. Azza is funny, y'all. Azza is real life funny. He's hilarious. Um, yeah, thanks for being on the job on the job. So we'll see how this develops later on. I just wanted to jump on quick and have a quick chat, and we'll be back later today to talk further about these developments. And in the meantime, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified when I drop some more